And good morning and welcome to Touch Base Daily. My name is Ron Foster, touching base with you as I always do, here with my buddy and pal and friend, Mr. Chris Edwards. It is Wednesday, and I forgot to send an invitation to our ladies. That's why they're not here. I was like, wait a minute, where are the ladies?
That's a quick little send.
Yeah, that's an easy send. I'll send it out if they're available. They'll pop on. But
Yeah.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Wednesday. Happy Hump Day. Happy Hump Day. It is the day of humpers.
Okay, we're going there. What day is it?
It's Humpers Day. Hump Day. And so
middle of the week. We're halfway there to the end of this week.
I can't believe how fast this time. I've been here already 2 weeks. Already.
Have you?
Yeah, I've been back home 2 weeks already. More than 2 weeks now. I mean, as of yesterday.
Back into all the foolishness.
Who you telling, Chris? You ain't never lie.
Well, while you're sending out invitations, let me start with some of these hellos. I'm not sure if we had the same ones, but as of right now, I have Hannah as our gold star for today. Is that correct?
I see here. Yes. Hannah is gold, and then Miss T.
Yes, and then there's Travel Moore, who gets the silver today. She says, good morning, Ron and Touch Base family. And then also Hannah said, good morning, Ron and Touch Base Daily family. And then I believe rounding up number 3, the bronze goes to Miss Chrissy, and she says, good morning. Also in the room, we've got Miss Jazzy. She says, good morning, beautiful people. And then Kelly E says, good morning, everyone. So good morning to everyone in the room, everyone joining us. Don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, and also don't forget to share this comment and hit the notification button so you can get notified every time Ron goes live or he drops a new video. That helps the algorithm and helps to push out this feed.
Yes. Thank you, Chris.
You're welcome. Doing all the things. Doing all the things.
And this morning we had such a great conversation with the morning show at 5:30 a.m. And we have people from we had someone from New Zealand this morning. We have obviously Indian folks represent the people from India. And so it was a really good morning. We talked about some good stuff. But go ahead, bud.
So I will definitely say the 5:30 a.m. show is the more international show where everyone from around the world just joins in. And this has really been a community that's been expanding over the last several months. And, we have to say thank you to you, because the fact that you traveling to Africa allows the community to grow in such a positive and global way. So thank you to all of our 5:30 a.m. Show followers from around the world, and for those that are joining from that 5:30 show at the 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time show, welcome. Don't forget to subscribe,
and we are now up to, I think, 1,050 plus. I think it's like 56. So we're continuing to grow every week. We are now averaging, when we were on before I went to Europe, Africa, the continents, we were averaging 35 new subscribers every 28 days. That's the stats. Okay. Now we are 72 subscribers every 28 days.
That's growth. Serious growth.
We went from 35 to 72.
You doubled. I mean, basically.
Doubled.
Yeah.
Doubled.
Oh, also, because I hear it in the background, and for those that have been with us for years or months, as you know, Ron is in a different space now from where he was. He used to reside in Brooklyn and used to hear all the Brooklyn sounds. Now that he lives in the suburbs of New Jersey, you hear the suburb sounds. So I can hear the birds chirp. The birds are chirping in the background. I can hear them.
You can hear them?
Yes, we can hear them. That just shows, change in your life. And it's a good change.
It definitely is. The birds are every morning. The birds start chirping at 4:30 a.m. Some of them at 4:15, 4 o'clock. And the dawn, wherever the dawn is, they seem to know where it is and they start chirping. And it helps me to wake up on time. I don't use an alarm. I'm
Yeah,
up.
same here.
I wake up 5 o'clock every morning.
Between the sprinklers here and the birds in the morning, because we have trees like
Sprinklers.
literally right outside of our bedroom window. You hear all I that's what I get into the birds and the sprinklers.
The sprinklers, and so it's like I said, I love it here. Obviously we had, Adrian, it's so good to have family that it believes in what you're doing and support what you're doing, and it makes life so much easier. Yeah, it's phenomenal. It's absolutely phenomenal. I'm very thankful, very very thankful. My cousin came over yesterday to hang out a bit, and I bought Adrian some wine from Portugal, and
Oh,
so we were able to. He was able. My cousin got here before I returned before I returned, so the wine was at his house, and so Adrian got his wine yesterday. So I was
okay.
like, I was like, you got some good wine. Oh, the doorbell's ringing. Oh, shut.
Look who it
It's
is.
our
Our
wonderful.
partner in crime.
Yes, it is. It is our
No, our
wonderful
partner in
Elise.
good trouble. Good
In
trouble.
good trouble. That's right.
Good
Let's
There we
morning.
correct
go.
that. Let's
Good
use the
Yeah,
correct
trouble.
good
words. Good
trouble.
trouble.
I like that.
Yes.
Good trouble. And also, I see here Ken says, "Hi there, beautiful people." And Lisa says, "My body just wakes up, but if I have somewhere to be, I set my alarm just in case." Oh yeah, if I have somewhere to go, I will always set. I say,
It's
Siri, set the alarm
it's just a backup. It's a backup.
as a backup. But most of the time, I like living here in the suburbs. The birds are so loud; they wake you up. They're just like chirping all over the place, and I have the windows open so you can hear them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, Elise, what's going on in your world? We have a great. Well, first of all, let me for those that are just joining, we have a great community connection today. We will be talking about obviously the Knicks. We'll be talking about the FIFA World Cup. We'll be talking about some of the crazy stuff that's going on in the world, South Africa. So we have a lot of interesting topics to talk about today, and most of all, what's dear to Elise's heart and my heart, Tuesday voting. And Tuesday voting was, can I say, so beautiful. It was when I woke up to some of the numbers this morning, I just gave a good kiss to heaven. And I said, wow, there's hope. There is hope
Yeah, but you
in
gotta
this
continue
country.
to vote.
But you got to vote, y'all. You have to vote.
Yeah.
Vote, vote, vote like your life depends on it because,
Because it
golly, it
does.
does. You better vote. Like in church, they say, you better preach. You better vote.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. So, but that's what we'll be at today. And also, again, if you're in the building, make sure you hit the subscribe and hit the notification bell so that way you know when we're on. We're on twice a day. In the morning is definitely the morning show is different from this show. The morning we do photography. I share photography every morning. Talk about photography tips. Talk to the community, and then we have a word of the day. So a word of the day that people can feast on, and so if you want to join us in early in the morning, join us. But that's the great. Also, I do want to bring awareness to this because I work so freaking hard on it. So I gotta share it. Hold on a second. Where is it? Okay, hold on. Did I lose it? Okay, there it's right there. Okay, we get that on the screen, and that is Hey, why doesn't it come on the screen? Oh, there we go. Okay, here we go. Guys, we have merch.
This is the merch update.
This is the merch update. There's a
Yeah.
lot of good stuff in here. There's the polo shirt, there's a bag, there's the cup. I like this cup as well. This one says focus on what matters. And then on the back, it says touch base daily. Let's see what else we have in this little wonderful store. And we have the
And these are
tumbler.
actually really great, reasonable prices. Like
Yeah, the prices are not
$10 change
bad.
for a mug. Yeah, really good.
And this is the hat. This is our new hat. Look at that. Touch base daily. Focus on what matters. So that's good. And so we have some merch. We have merch, y'all. We have merch. Some of y'all have been really pushing me and saying, Ron, you need to get it together. But this is my favorite cup. And this is
I like that. It's colorful.
Cup is, it's very colorful. Got the camera and the mic. And it says what? Touch base daily. Focus on what matters. So
Right.
look at that. Look at that. You have
Is that the one that Adrian did?
Yeah, Adrian created
Yeah.
this. Yes. And his
Nice.
AI tools. He was good. I was like, yo, dude. I was like, I love it. I said, it's so me.
He's
The
look good.
mountains, of trees, the sunsets, and the colors.
Everything that describes you in
It's
one
right.
mug.
I was like, oh, I'm so happy. So anyway, just so you know, that's we have a merch show. So if you're in YouTube, it's right underneath this page. You see the screen of us. Then underneath is the store, and then underneath that is basic photography tips. And like I share with everyone, the photography tips are free. Use them. Go to them. Share them with your friends who are like, I don't know how to take photos with my cell phone. I don't know how to take photos with my smartphone. You have tips right here. I take time to do it. So if I took the time to do it, use it. It's free.
And everybody loves free.
Everybody loves free.
Got me.
Now, if I charge, everybody like, oh, he's charging for the intellectual.
That part.
So let's start with our wonderful Elise. Elise, what's on your mind this morning? When you woke up this morning and you heard the news or you read a paper, because you do it all. So what is it that really inspired you this morning? What made you smile this morning?
Well, I don't know if it made me smile, but
Okay. What made you shake your head?
I guess when I woke up and I read my Bible app and the part was wait on the Lord. I told my husband last night I was angry at him, at the Lord. So
well, hey, we all sometimes we get angry.
yeah. I'm probably pretty angry about a lot of things. Like I am my thoughts are with Karmelo Anthony and the
Yes.
he received. And I don't think, for me, I can't not talk about that.
Yes.
Because of the duality of the system of justice in the city, in this country, right?
Yes.
If you run away from it, you get killed. If you defend yourself, you go to jail.
Yes.
No one goes to jail. You're kind of at that point of what do you do? The one woman on a video said it perfectly, who was down there. She said, so what do you all want us to do? I mean, technically we know what they want us to do. They want us to die and go away. That's what they want. But I think for him to be surrounded by people, and you watch the video of what happened that day, and that murder was even an option.
Yeah.
For the jury. And the jury was all white.
Wait, the all white. Yes. Let's make sure we say that. All white jury.
All white jury. And if I'm not mistaken, so were the alternates.
Mm.
And so seeing that, and it took me back. It has to take us back to.
It takes us back.
The early
Emmett Till,
right?
I'm
not talking about Emmett Till. I'm
talking about like the makeup of the jury, and those. It took me back to that. That's what it did for me.
So it specifically took me back to the trials of Black people.
Yeah.
Not just the ones who perpetrated crimes. That was the other one with Cyrus. That took me back there. Mm-hmm. This one took me back to the trials of Black people who were in some cases just waiting to go on trial. But
Yes.
inevitably, what happened to them as they waited or were convicted and never given the opportunity to do a lot of things. So that was a lot of weight for me. He's 19 years old. This happened, and so you look at
it happened when he was 17, correct?
So, yeah, so is he 18? He should be, because it said it's 2025. He was supposed to be 17.
Yeah, I think it was 17 when it happened.
Yeah, it was 17 when it happened. Yeah. And so when you think about the things that they did not, have in there, the fact that the brothers had been suspended because of their behaviors from school was not a part of what they talked about. And so it makes you wonder what, since no one was able to, no reporters, they didn't have cameras in there, so you couldn't see anything. And then the fact that, in a lot of cases, judges don't, in those situations where you have something like that, they don't even allow murder as an option. Mm-hmm. But it was an option for this group of people. In less than 3 hours, they found him guilty and gave him 35 years.
Can I ask a question? Because I saw something, I'm not sure, because I didn't really follow this case very well. But wasn't there a photo circulated of the judge and the victim's parents associating and partying together?
So the judge, the prosecutor, and I believe it was the father. That was a photo was circulating. Now, the reason I didn't mention that, because I have to, you have to know if all of those things are factual, but I wouldn't doubt it.
Right, and that's why I asked a question, because I had saw it and I heard about it, but I wasn't sure. Because here's the thing, they're not reporting on any of this stuff. The fact that there's some type of association there. The fact that there was only one witness for the defense, and my thing was like, did he have did he have good representation on top of that? Because from what I understand, it didn't seem like he had the greatest lawyer.
Yeah, that was my question too.
And it's so fast. It's like all these, and there was clearly a pattern of him being bullied by these individuals, from what I understand. And to have a all-white jury, there's no jury of his peers here.
No.
At all.
No jury of
and
even
in 3 hours they convicted this. Yeah.
This community wasn't even represented on this jury because it was all white.
Yeah,
even the prosecutor, there were a couple of people who said they were teachers. They didn't want teachers on there either. They didn't want anyone like that on there. And the fact that these twins had a reputation of being bullies at their school. And they came over to where he was. He didn't go where they were. And murder implies premeditation.
Yes. Absolutely.
Yes, yeah.
So your reaction to someone attacking you when you defend yourself is not a premeditative act. That's a spontaneous act, right? And so that part.
Yeah, because why wasn't manslaughter on the table? If you want to go there, it's considered manslaughter, isn't it?
So they had three options: murder, manslaughter, and self-defense.
Self-defense.
Jury had those choices. My biggest question is, why was murder even a choice?
Yeah.
Because in some cases, judges will say it cannot be a choice.
Yes.
Because of the circumstances. And there was a video. So my thing, have you, and what came to my mind after I got over my moment with God. But anyway, was the movie A Time to Kill. And I've mentioned this movie to you all before.
Yes.
And my favorite part is when he says why he chose the lawyer he chose. He said, he asked him, why did you choose? I chose you because you are one of them. You know how they are.
Yes.
And in his summation, he said that he asked the jury to close their eyes, and then he told the story, but then at the end, he said, now imagine they're white.
Yes.
So if we all know the results, if it had been a white person, if it had been the other way around.
Yes. Oh, he would have been, they would have gotten him off. He would have walked out that courtroom yesterday a free man.
Yeah. Or not charged at all.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that happens a lot.
All the time, every day in America.
And we have so many examples, right? George Zimmerman with that one.
Yes.
The one that just happened with Cyrus and the person that shot him in the back as he was going away. The young girl who was shot in the store with the money in her hand to pay for her juice. We've seen that over and over again, and how they all seem to somehow be let off. And now you
Yep.
have this young man that murder was even on there was interesting to me. And I think that we have to, as a community, acknowledge that part of us, that our anger, our rage, and how we utilize that. For me right now, I'm working on how do I use that? How do I not just do what I would that I've done in the past, which is I just go away, like, because you are at that point of, we have to refuse to be killed emotionally and spiritually, because that's what it is. And then at the same time, we also have to understand how they use their definition of faith.
Yes.
We have to be careful how we follow all of those things. And I think that we cannot, as a community, ignore the last couple of weeks and how different the results are. One person wasn't even defending themselves when they shot the person in the back. This young man was in a headlock defending himself.
Yeah.
And found guilty within less than 3 hours and sentenced by an all-white group of people. And this is just
And wait, can I ask a question? Why is it like normally sentencing is always like happens separately, few weeks or months down the line? Why was it that he was found guilty and sentenced all in the same moment, basically?
Yeah.
That's how the judge makes those decisions. So the jury, normally what they'll say, the jury makes a sentencing recommendation.
Right, so but normally it's never the same day. There's always like, you go away, and come back at a later date, and then the judge has time to like hear sympathy, other people to speak on their behalf, whatever, before sentencing. Like, this was just like all in one big fell swoop.
And the only person that spoke on his behalf was his mother. That said, asked her, was he remorseful, and she said yes. She was the only one that did that yesterday. But you kind of knew from the beginning how things would work, right? Because once they said it was an all-white jury, you have to question yourself. You have to question and understand the system. It depends on the state and the jurisdiction. Absolutely, Jazzy. But it also depends on, now we're at the point where it's not just about the state and the jurisdiction. It really is about who is the defendant and who is the quote unquote, I don't even want to call them victims. They're, because this way the aggressor was a person who was unalived.
Yeah.
But they were clearly the aggressor. And so we have to, how do we reconcile with that as people? And, it just brings back Donald Glover's song, This Is America, right?
Yeah.
But we can't gloss over that. We can't spend our time, for me, our entertainment supersedes everything. And I know that's a part of maintaining sanity, right? So we'll talk about the Knicks. We'll talk about the foolishness of FIFA and all of that. So we'll talk about those things. But I think we also have to talk about community. We have to talk about how do we do that, and what do we do? How do we help our young people? Because right now they're in a catch-22.
Yes.
If you try to leave, they can kill you and get away with it. If you defend yourself, you go to jail. So you're in a catch-22.
It's like one of the I forgot what one of the gentlemen that was on social media, he was saying when it all comes down to it, and the case is that Black lives do not matter. Black lives do not matter in America.
They
if
don't.
They did,
and, I mean,
they would care.
It doesn't. And here's the thing. It's so odd that we're talking about this today because all these stories are so interconnected. And, we talked about, how like FIFA is like entertainment, but just look at like the Somali ref that was turned away
right
here when he arrived. FIFA chose that referee because of his status and who he was as a
he was an award-winning referee.
Exactly. Right. So, and then the fact that he has come here to referee the games, and for the U.S. to turn him away and send him back, saying he has ties to terrorists, It's like he's been already vetted. This man has been doing this for years. This just clearly shows that America, KKK, is racist.
Right. Oh, absolutely, it's racist, and
And,
and
and, and
that's why
what,
I said FIFA foolishness. That's why I
yes, but the whole
specifically
thing
said.
is,
And they
again,
said nothing.
but
Of
again,
course not.
you would say that someone would have enough curiosity that if this guy says, because I'm sure he said, I'm one of the refs
Of
for
course, they knew who he was.
They
right?
knew exactly who
But
he
the thing
was.
is, but again, even with giving them the benefit of the doubt, if they would have just simply gone on their smartphone and looked his name up.
You're being way too generous, Ron.
You
Let's not
are.
even have that conversation. Because here's the thing. Let's look at how Mexico and Canada have been treating these FIFA, the FIFA international community as they arrive versus how the U.S. is. FIFA, when they come into Canada and Mexico, they're being greeted by bands and fair fan welcomes. America, they're stopping them on the tarmac and they're wanding them and doing cavity searches. Okay?
Yes. Yes.
Those
Why the fuck would we want to? Why would you want to go and support FIFA right now and how they're in America and how they're treating these international players? They've known for years that this is going to happen. And this is what they're doing. They hadn't even made it past security into the country.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And that was the team you talked about, the winding down. That was a team from Senegal.
Yes.
That they did that too. So my question is still the same. It's like, it's Chris's question. Why are you here? Why didn't you all just not come? Because they're and I saw another story where there are 40 Moroccans who have been going around the world to see the team play. They were denied access to the U.S.
Yes.
And so they're still but it still goes back to FIFA. And I told my husband yesterday, I said, who owns the teams? They don't care. They don't care about any of this. And as long as I keep, and I also said, as long as we keep showing up, as people keep showing up for these entertainment events, these games and all of those things, as long as you keep showing up, they don't have to care, because they're going to still get their money. They're going to get what they want out of it. And I'm sure they're going to, because this is the same organization that gave him some
made up bullshit award.
Some kind of crazy award.
The award that will once be given and never be given again.
Absolutely.
The same organization, right? So we see that the racism is driving everything across the board.
But here's the thing. It will hit FIFA, because of all the hotel cancellations that have been they've had to compromise and bring down some of the ticket prices, and people still aren't going to go, because you know what, why should you go and support something like this? And the thing about it is this doesn't happen every year. This happens once in every few years. Right. And they had to bid for this. America is going to lose economically so bad because of this. All the infrastructure they've had to put in place, all of the upgrades they've had to do to these stadiums, because FIFA only plays on real grass, and a lot of these stadiums use artificial turf. They've had to grow grass elsewhere, bring it in, like upgrade the stadiums, all the different things. We will ultimately lose, and we are losing. This country has been losing for a year and a half now, and will continue to lose.
Well, this is what happens when you put a moron in charge. And I hate to be so direct about it, but Trump is an idiot. And the country is going to suffer for at least a century. And the idiots that follow him don't understand what this country looks like from those overseas. And I just returned from overseas, so I can speak with confidence. Now, the morons that are in the room that always want to pop in, and the trolls and all those people,
I'm going through them now. I'm going through it now.
The trolls don't understand that it's going to take a century for America to, if it ever comes back, because you are now losing trade deals. You're losing trade partners. You're
There's one still
losing
in there, Chris.
I'm getting.
all of the
I see
stuff.
it. I think I
All
might
of the
have
stuff.
banned the wrong person. But let me see if I can go back and fix that.
All of the things that we need, technology, intelligence. America is in such a dangerous position. I mean, think about this with the screw worms. The screw worms, which were annihilated in 1963. And then there were 2 cases during Biden's administration that was across the border in Mexico. And because of it, Biden administration put up a whole plan so that it would not invade America. And then the stupid Cankles comes in and takes it apart and does away with it. Does away with the whole department.
Right.
This is what happens when you vote for ignorance and stupidity. It gets so under my skin. It really does.
I mean, yeah, it's what happens. What people have to understand. They don't say I didn't vote for this when you voted for them.
Yes,
because you voted for exactly what you see. You know, that's the whole part of it. You voted for it, and so all of what we see is a result of that, and the result of people rolling us back in time, right? Us going back to the past of how the judicial system is responding to things that come up. That's been happening for hundreds of years, right?
Yes.
And then, so, you know, when you have, and they have the Olympics coming up. Is it in 2028?
Yes.
They should pull it. I think that somewhere the organizations have to respond, because their people are international.
Yes.
Why should people have to go through this harassment? You know, when you had that gentleman pulled and he was sent back to Turkey and then sent back home or whatever because he couldn't come to the U.S., but he's been all over the world.
Yes.
Because the U.S. has all of their restrictions on people and people, but you're bringing in, you know, some of the worst people. You're bringing in South African white people. So
right. So let's just say his name is Omar Artan. He's a Somalian Somalian,
referee.
And he was quote unquote suspected of terror ties. I mean, this man's been a referee for years, and all of a sudden now that he's entering the U.S., now he's suspected of terror ties. Bullshit.
Yeah, this is the one right here.
Right.
Yes.
And it's all just to feed the fire. It's to stoke the fire that they've stoked, right, against Somalis. You know, because you know that's where Ilhan Omar is from.
Absolutely.
Yes. About the Somalis in Minnesota. You can't ever forget that a part of it is all of that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Canada has welcomed him to come there and referee the matches that are being held in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure they are. Again, I said with this whole thing, as Trump his stupidity has been reigning in this country, that the rest of if America was not America and it was another country acting like America, like how Americans acting now, they would have banned and said, you know what, we're not doing the World Cup in America. If this was any other country, they would say, hey, we're not doing it. We're not going. We're not going to support it. So, but again, the rich people, the owners, they want to make their money. But they're not going to make money because every headlines over the last week has been losing money. And it's not going to be.
And it's the cities that are supposed to host these things that are going to be big losers, right?
Yes, the cities are.
The cities have,
because they spent the money.
Infrastructure. You know, they're spending money on infrastructure. I know LA has been working on their transportation infrastructure, preparing for this and the Olympics, right? So they will suffer because of that. But you know, at the end of the day, is when do people stand up for people and not just focus on the money? You know, it's about power, money, power, and control, which is what is all about. So when do you focus on the people part? And I think a part of it is left up to the citizens and what they do. Right? We can talk here, but I think it's the end of the day. You know, I always take my husband back to Colin Kaepernick. I never not talk about him. That happened to him, and the average man, the average black man, still watched football.
Yes.
Still went out there and did those things. I have one male friend who said he has not. We have one male friend who said he has not watched football since then.
Yeah.
But they count on you to continue to support.
You continue. Yes.
All of these things. And what do? We continue to support these things. Like, you may be mad about so somebody showing up at the Knicks game, but just what, you showed up too. Because you weren't gonna protest the owner enough not to show up. Because that's what we're not gonna do. Because the things that people don't like to do, they don't like to make sacrifices.
Yeah.
They don't like to be uncomfortable. Those are the
especially
things,
in today's world.
Yeah, you don't like making sacrifices, and I think that's sometimes it's if we don't make, and that's kind of like been my word all month, is sacrifice. We're not willing to do it because we don't want to be uncomfortable. We don't want to be inconvenienced. All of those things, we don't want to do. And as long as people operate that way, they still win. They keep winning.
Yeah.
As long as we continue to show up, they win, and we inevitably we will show up.
It's the same.
We may not personally show up, but they're going to show up.
We show up, and also Americans. I mean, it's unfortunate, but Americans love the abuse. We love to be abused by the abusers. We just, I mean, Americans. I'm talking about Americans. Yeah, the average. I mean, I think about how American society is. I remember when you used to go on an airplane and you have space in your seats. You used to be able to get full meals. You used to get even little toys that give your children. Aviation in America has come such a far distance of what it used to look like.
Yeah,
I mean, some of the other places you go overseas, like when I go and they come with
you still get that stuff.
I'm saying,
you still get that.
I'm like, I'm only going on a 2-hour flight, and I got all of this major meal. But and I look at it and I say, Americans just settle. And if you were in certain places around the world, if you took away certain little benefits, little ones, there would be an uproar.
Yep.
I mean, you saw the French when they lost.
Yes,
they just took off. They wanted to shave off 2 years. I think it was 2 years. They just wanted to shave off, and they were like, "Hell no! We want our Social Security. We want what we work for."
Yep.
And they stopped. They stopped the country. They literally, the Yellow Jackets stopped the country. The trucks stopped the highways. The airports were stopped. They stopped the country. Americans just yield. But this is also one of the only countries in the world that votes against its own needs. Somehow in this crazy bizarro of a country, and don't get me wrong, I love the things that we have in America, but let me tell you, this is a messed up place. When you think about people in the red states that vote for the same people that do nothing for them.
But they complain and blame everybody else.
And then they complain.
Yeah. Well, I think that's what America really is about. It's about complaining. I mean, everybody wants to have a platform to complain about.
Yes.
Yeah.
But when you get on the plane, you sit there in these cramped seats and you're like, where did we come? How did we get here?
Yeah.
I always trace the aviation issues. I always trace them back to, forgive me, Ronald Reagan. When he started messing with the air traffic controllers, and once they started allowing these people, then later on, when they started allowing these bigger airlines to usurp all the smaller ones and all of those things, like I used to be able to fly back and forth to Atlanta for like $69.
Yes, remember those good old days?
Never find that.
Remember People Airline?
All those airlines disappeared, and
all of them are gone.
Well, I mean, not the ones that disappeared, even the ones that are still here. I remember when I was living in New York, I used to be able to go from New York to Fort Lauderdale for like $70, $80 round trip. Those days are gone.
But and I was saying, you know what got me all pissed off and
I
riled up?
know.
Maybe today should be called "I've Had It" show, because I have absolutely have had it up to here. And I was telling Nancy, I was saying, when I leave here, it is an automatic $100 that I'm going to spend.
Mm-hmm.
When I was in Portugal, Paris, France, anywhere in France, anywhere in Portugal, anywhere in South Africa, and I would get a Uber or a Bolt. And I'm going to use the Uber because Uber is here and there.
Right.
The most I spent in 4 months of using Uber or Bolt was $22 in traveling long distances in a Uber. I come here and just to go from here to the Bronx, $85 American dollars.
Yeah.
It's cheap.
$85, and
Listen,
it can change whatever time of the day it is.
yes. And it's
Yes.
cheaper for me to come from here to there, way cheaper.
Yes.
Way cheaper on Amtrak.
But again,
Absolutely.
so I had to now think of a whole new plan of traveling because I refused to pay the $85. One time, it was $115 just to go from here in the Bronx, which is not far. That's only 5 miles. But Americans accept it, and that's the problem.
Yeah. Because
Americans accept it.
because all of these you kind of went away from the people. Like you used to be able to go in New York and you see the car coming down the street, got that little black car, you get in there for $5.
Yes.
Then you got, you had Uber come in and you had all of these people come in, and then all of a sudden it just exploded. Even in Mexico City, when we went down there, it was like they picked us up. It's like $5.
$5.
Where we needed to go. And I'm like, this is Uber?
Well, not even that. The Uber was the replacement for the taxis. One, you felt more comfortable getting into a Uber than a taxi because you weren't even sure the taxi was going to stop to pick your black ass up to begin with. That's the first
racism.
Part. And then on top of it, because it was people using their cars and you didn't have to have the medallions, because those medallions are expensive. It was relatively cheap. You could go like all over the place with an Uber, and like you could ride Uber all day long and wouldn't even break $100, and it was worth it. Now you have to be very strategic. Like tomorrow, I'm traveling up to New York tomorrow, and I got to go from here to the train station. It's going to cost me a minimum, because I already looked it up, because I scheduled it, a minimum of $35 just to get to the Wilmington train station. I'm like, for what? It's not that far. I'm like,
the train ride is less.
Can I tell you, I paid $25. I paid $25 for my Amtrak ticket from Wilmington, Delaware to New York Penn Station. And I'm going to pay $38 from my home in Newark to Wilmington.
Yeah.
It's a 20-minute ride, and not even 20 minutes in the car. And it's a 2+ hour train ride where I'm comfortable. I'm spread out. I've got power outlets. I've got a food cart. Yeah. And in Uber, I'm just sitting there in traffic.
Yeah.
But then also on top of this, we are in I've had it today mode. We are definitely in I've had it mode. This has been burning me up all week. I have to tell you, I've been back in this country for 2 weeks, and the thing that is messing me up.
You wish Gwendolyn was here to put that word in there. Chris will do it for you.
Yes, Gwendolyn. Where's Gwendolyn when I need her?
I'm her proxy.
It's the F word.
I've been effed up all week since being back here for 2 weeks. And
You've been fucked up, people.
I sat there and said, what the hell? I mean, I walk out the door. Like I said, if I make a conscious decision to leave this house, go down to the city, which is only 10 miles, I'm paying $100 or
It's
more.
crazy. It's crazy.
It is
And
crazy.
but again, and it's not, you can't be mad with the Uber drivers because they're not even making the money.
And they don't set the rates.
They don't set the rates. And I
They
talk to
don't.
the Uber drivers, and they
Right.
say even though they raise the prices, we
They
don't
don't
our
do it.
price our price never changes.
Right. Because they're about getting rich, right? Like how many people take Lyft? You know,
Yeah.
they're still existing. You know?
I have to keep going back and forth between Lyft and Uber. Like I was lucky one day, Lyft had a little 10% discount. And I was like, oh, let me take the 10% discount. Lyft,
Yeah.
you got me today. But it's ridiculous. But this is American society. And I will tell you, like I said, I was overseas. I was on 2 continents. I went to 30 towns and cities. It pisses me off to no end that America treats its people this way. My buddy just went and has what they call head to toe what they call it. They scan your body to make sure you're healthy. So
Right.
Turkey is very good at this. So
Right.
my buddy spent, I think, $1,800. He lives in Namibia, who I was hanging out with. He says, Ron, I couldn't believe $1,800 paid for his plane ticket to Turkey, the hotel that he stayed in Turkey, which happens to be the facility where they do the scan and do all of the medical makeup of everything, the blood tests, all of that, all of it. And then they flew him back home all for $1,800 and had all of his body work. He says he's a chain smoker. He says, I thought sure they were going to find something with that big scan because they scan every organ. They go through the lungs, they go to the heart, they go to the kidneys. They scan everything, and it's called preemptive care, so that you know what to address in your if something's coming up. Because usually in America, you only see the doctor based on the insurance company if something is wrong.
Right.
And they still don't even give you permission for these tests a lot of times. They'll deny you.
And the doctors don't even have, most of the time, doctors don't even order them. Like when I was having my issue, I ended up at the emergency room and they did some scans, but still you need to scan more, right? They don't do that here.
Yeah.
They have a company here that will do a scan, but the scan by itself costs you $2,500.
Well, Adrian said that. I spent $2,000 for my scan in Midtown.
Right. That's what it costs.
And God forbid you don't have insurance.
Right. They don't. That part is not insured.
No,
you have to pay that.
You got to pay your deductible, which is like $3,000, $4,000.
Absolutely.
Now. So
listen, insurance here, any type of insurance is a scam.
But everything, the whole corporate structure in America is horrible. For instance, I needed my high blood pressure medication. The little tablets, right? And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm running out because I'm overseas, right? So I'm like, I said, I hope I don't have a hard time because I don't have my insurance. My insurance is not going to cover overseas. So I go into the drugstore, I tell them my medication, and she said, oh, okay, we have that. And next thing you know, I got the bill, no insurance, came up to $16 for my medication. If I would have did that in America, that same medication would have been $300.
Yeah.
Right.
Plus.
Absolutely.
Yep.
But
it's America, ridiculous.
Yeah. What I told my doctor, I told my doctor, I said, you all don't manage health, you manage diseases. You wait until it becomes something, then you prescribe medications where if you didn't make money, if you were preventive, you would run all of these tests, find out if there's anything wrong, and start doing it before it becomes a disease.
But insurance will not pay for it because they don't find it justified. Not until, and even when you do have a disease and you're ill, they'll say, well, you don't need that test. Like the doctor said, I need this test so that they can figure out what's wrong so they can take the next steps. But then here's the thing. Doctors now are having to lie or put down something different on the paperwork so you can go and get these scans to get it approved.
Now, how does that make sense? I mean, think about this.
It doesn't.
Think about this. You have a doctor that says you need this scan, CT scan or the radiology or what. The doctor says you need it, but the insurance person who's not a doctor says you don't.
But
we're not paying for it.
Insurances are corporations. They have investors. You know, that's the whole. We can't forget Luigi. The whole thing with Luigi was
Luigi.
The man was going to an investors meeting.
Yes,
so their bottom line is how do we not care for people and get more money? I mean, I gave the example how these insurance companies are working, and people are gonna start feeling it more and more. When my granddaughter had her physical, and they had the blood workup part. They sent my daughter this $600 bill for blood work. I was like, wait a minute, she had a physical. Why is there a bill for this? And so they said because on there was something that said obese or something. And so therefore that's not covered. But if it said this, I told her, you go to that doctor. Have that doctor switch something around, whatever it is they're talking about. Because I even calculated her body mass. It was not in the category of obese. Okay, I calculated it. That's how serious I was about
you got.
And I told her,
you have to advocate for yourself and your loved ones.
So she had to change that because the doctor did work with her and fixed it. And so, you know, they're now it's $25, right? But the point was the insurance company who is in it for profit. All of this is about profit. The doctors make money. These companies, these pharmaceutical companies come to them and peddle medications. They do all of these things. And if we're not careful, that's how we get on these things. Then you wonder why. You wonder, like, I have high blood pressure. Now, why I have diabetes? Because some high blood pressure medications lead to diabetes.
Yes, this is true.
And then they'll give you metformin, which you have reports that say metformin is not that great, and they may not be good for you. And then, but that's what they prescribe. And so we don't ask enough questions or understand, read the fine print. And I know for a fact that some of these high blood pressure medications lead to diabetes.
Yes. That's what happened to my grandmother.
Why your blood sugar went up is because the doctor put you on high blood pressure medication and didn't tell you. First of all, what is high blood pressure?
And they don't tell you that as you age, your pressure goes up automatically anyway.
No, you have to understand that high blood pressure is a symptom of something that's happening internally,
out of whack. Yes,
which is what those scans tell you what's going on. Your arteries, some arteries getting pressured because it's either having calcium buildup. It's something that's happening inside your body.
Yes.
And then what's the remedy for the actual issue? Because high blood pressure is a symptom.
It's a symptom.
It's not the disease. It's not the problem. It's the symptom of a problem.
True.
So, yeah.
But this is where we are. And here's the other kicker that I mentioned to Adrian when we were sitting down looking at the TV. I said, this is the only country that commercials of medicine appear on your television. You don't see it in France. You don't see it in Portugal. You don't see it anywhere, at least in South Africa. You don't see it in Namibia. Commercials that also tell you, take this medicine, but also could lead to death.
Yeah. Like, here's the other thing that gets me. When they put those commercials on and they say, if you use this, it could cause this and that. But how are you supposed to know if you don't take it? You don't know how your body's going to react to these drugs. So why would you take?
I just read it before I take it. That's all. I'm not taking it. Because when I went through my thing in 2018 with my mental health, the doctor was like, okay, so I'm going to give you Xanax, right? Because ended up going to psychiatrists. They just prescribe medication. Mm-hmm. Psychologists talk to you and try to figure it out. Yes. Psychiatrists want to put you on a drug. So the doctor they give me this prescription. Then I read about Xanax. Xanax is the second most addictive drug after opioids. So,
Wow.
so I asked them, I said, now, let me ask you a question. I came in here with some issues, some emotional issues. Your remedy is to give me an addictive drug. I
Mm.
refuse to take you. I'm not taking this. I was like, everything they give me, I read about. But when I found
You
that out,
have to.
that's why you can sell. If you have Xanax, you can actually sell a pill. You
Yep.
probably can sell a couple of pills of Xanax for $100.
Well, people get robbed. People, I mean, in some of the suburban areas in America, when people rob your house, they're not going for the television; they're
They're
going
going
for
for
the
the
drugs
drugs.
in your medicine cabinet.
Yep.
And I think that's, and it's when you go to the doctor. When I had a procedure done and they gave me some pain medication, it was an opioid. They also gave
Yeah,
me a prescription for Narcan. You know what
yeah.
Narcan is, don't you?
Yeah.
Yes. Ron, you know what it is, don't you?
No, tell
So
me, please.
Narcan is the thing that if you have an overdose, they use it to squirt in your nose to bring you
Yes.
Oh,
back.
yes. Okay, okay. Yeah, I didn't know
But the
anything about it.
the fact that they gave you that with your prescription tells you what that prescription can do to you.
And
Well, one of my
I
friends got
shredded both of
addicted
them.
to coke. Well, my one of my friends, she had one of my old jobs. She got hurt and she got her prescription and she became with the prescription and she did exactly what the doctor said. She became addicted to it.
Most people do.
That
That stuff is
because
it's addictive.
so when they so here's what Americans need to know, and this is all Americans.
Yes.
You need to understand the fentanyl problem isn't about what gets across the border. The fentanyl problem is what the doctor prescribed. It became a problem because that's what doctor was prescribing people. They prescribed opioids. They had in West Virginia, they did this study a few years ago. They had 25, the way they did opioids down there were 2,500 pills per person in there. And they opened these pain centers. And that's where they were giving them the opioids. So
Yep.
the problem with fentanyl, actually, all of these drugs is because of drug manufacturers and doctors prescribing it because they are told to do it and to get people hooked on these drugs. But the fentanyl problem originated in doctors' offices. It's not about because you have to understand, even though they keep talking about it as a problem, doctors are still writing prescriptions for it.
Yeah. Yeah. I have to say, I told my doctor, I told him very clearly, way back. He's been my doctor now for 25 years, 20 years. And I told him way back, I said, one thing you cannot do. I said, he convinced me to get this small dosage of the high blood pressure medication because strokes run in my mother's side of the family. And so my mother had a stroke. Lots of people on my mother's side of the family have strokes. And he said, you are in what's called the high risk area. So we were prescribed. I said, but I want you to know, this is it. I'm not going beyond. But again, you have to be an advocate. And I said, are there any fruits or foods I can eat that are going to help me? And so he did not give me the fruits. I had to look it up. I had to
Yeah.
look up what I could eat that would be the thing that could also reduce, high blood pressure, cholesterol, all that stuff. But and a lot of the stuff is a lot of the answers is just in the food we eat. You know it, right?
Yes.
Lisa says hibiscus tea, baby. I carry my hibiscus tea all the way to. I grabbed it. Went to Namibia. My hibiscus tea was everywhere with me.
Yeah.
Or which is interesting. When I was in Namibia, I didn't realize how many people ate beets. Beets for everything. Beets and then because I kept saying, well, how do these people not have high blood pressure? Because the diet in the South African region is mainly meat.
Mhm.
Lots of meat. And I was like, why are these people suffering from high blood pressure?
Well,
But then you realize the kinds of veggies they eat, well, the ones they have, but on everyone's dinner table every night, beets.
let's look at this. I have to look at like my mom's generation, my grandmother, my great grandmother from in Jamaica. And it's not necessarily true today, but when I look at their generations, my great grandmother and my great great grandmother, they lived to almost 100. My grandmother, with my mom's mom, lived until like 94. They lived long because, one, they lived off the land. They grew their own crops. They didn't use pesticides, and they would share foods. Like, one person would grow something or had animals, whatever. They would share that stuff. We live in a society where everything is fast and produced and not real, and we're consuming that stuff in our body, and our bodies are not used to these chemicals. And this is why people overseas tend to live longer than Americans, because, one, they don't allow all this stuff in their foods.
I can tell you
Here's the thing.
firsthand.
I'm allergic to. I have a dairy allergy. I have a gluten allergy. And here's the thing: when I go overseas, and sometimes I might forget to take like my lactose pills, whatever, I don't have the same issues that I have here, because they're not pumping all those chemicals into those foods. Foods do not last long in Europe. Like, once you pick that stuff, you have to consume it. If you get apples here, apples can last for weeks on a counter.
No, they last for months.
And they should
not shiny. I'm like, wait a minute, this apple's been here for like 3 weeks, and it looks like it just got picked.
Let me tell you about my rude awakening. So I'm there in Namibia for the first week when I'm at my buddy's house. We go grocery shopping, and I say, buy whatever you need. I'm gonna, I'm paying for everything. And then I went and said, and he was just buying a couple little things here and there. And I was like, oh no, we need more stuff. So I start grabbing everything. I start grabbing fruits and veggies and all of the stuff from the, what do you call it? And then I walk out the store with these big bags of food that didn't cost much at all. Got to the house, put things away. 3 days later, everything that I thought I was going to be eating
went bad.
Yeah. And I was like, I had to rethink and learn that, because when foods don't have pesticides and chemicals and junk in it, it will perish in 3 days.
They go through their normal life cycle.
Yeah, it's like 3 days. The food is no good.
So
everyone goes out every day or every other day
Ronald
to pick up their groceries.
Absolutely. One of the things that, since I've been married, one of the things that we do now on a regular basis is we get like our dry good stuff. We get that stuff from like Costco. But fruits and vegetables, we go to like the farmers market, and we only pick up what we're going to use within the next couple of days. So say, for instance, we go to the supermarket on a Monday, but like Friday we decide we want to make like fresh pasta. Ronald will stop and pick up tomatoes and use them that day. We only buy produce when we are actually going to use it. We don't just buy it just to have it in the house, because that's not what produce was really meant for. Yeah. Produce is, you pick it, you eat it, you consume it, and that is it. You don't let it sit there forever, unless it's like a canned good. And even still, that's not the greatest, because they pump that full of chemicals too.
I had to learn the hard way. I wasted money on groceries. I was like, all the food went bad. And my buddy said, we don't keep food that long. I was like,
right, you never cook it.
Yeah, they cook it, and immediately. And I'll close out on this is I had that also. Not only did that happen I didn't buy groceries. My friends bought groceries when I was in France. So when I was in the south of France, remember I showed you guys some of the videos of all that food? But the food, trucks come in every day with new fresh food. Mm-hmm. And people buy the food, and there's no, like we have Costco's and all these big, like you buy a car full of food. It doesn't exist like that in other parts of the world.
Nope.
And you have to break the mindset of being an American. And then you look at the food, and everything is smaller, like the bananas. I would say, wait, New York, we have these huge bananas. Here, everywhere overseas, the bananas are small.
Because bananas on steroids. People go to the market 2-3 times a week, because that's how you have to. That's how you eat.
Yeah, the elderly people, like you see when you go to Lisbon, the elderly people go shopping every day. And that's what they say. That book also keeps them, when you read the book on the blue zones, a lot of these places where people go and eat every day or leave the house every day to go shopping for their food, those are the places where people live the longest, because not
Yeah.
only are they getting their food, but they're
They're getting
also getting
exercise.
exercise.
Yep, they're
Exercise.
active.
Yeah. And they said a part
So
of it is also the community. Like they're
the
so
Yes.
community.
community wise that it helps. But we have got to definitely start looking at what we eat. I have a rabbit in my neighborhood.
Oh.
The rabbit
Uh-oh.
is about to die or something. But my daughter gave me because I've been afraid to put all my stuff out there because I plant stuff and it's gone. Or I had a pepper plant. That rabbit ate every leaf off the plant. And left the stem standing there.
And they're abundant this year. We have a lot of rabbits over here as well. They're
I
all
love
over the
rabbits.
place.
Don't talk bad about rabbits. I
But she
love
gave
them.
me a mixture to use to spray on it so that I can do that. But the rabbit, I planted a watermelon thing out there. The rabbit pulled the plant up and ate it.
Well,
My
there's
husband
also
said, "Are you
some
sure the rabbit?" I
herbs
said,
that
"It's the
keeps them
rabbit."
away too. Like there's
No,
certain
this
like
is the rabbit.
rosemary. Oh, the
This is the
rabbit
rabbit.
still.
I
The
know this
rabbit.
is the rabbit. The rabbit was
Oh,
just getting just
they just get into everything.
it take the it. I mean, literally eats all the leaves off. And I know
Wow.
he's back there because I've seen him.
Well, guys, I'm going to end it here. First of all, big up to all of those who love the Knicks. It's Knicks in 6 instead of Knicks in 4. So,
That's
so
look.
we're hoping for the Knicks to get it
I have to
tonight.
laugh. I prayed that they lost the other day.
Oh no, you
I
did
prayed.
not.
I did. I prayed all weekend that they lost. I said because if that owner is going to invite that monster to the game, I hope they lose.
Ooh.
And I
Well,
prayed.
you
I just
know,
sat on my bed praying they lost.
for those that don't know, yesterday there was a intervention in Madison Square Garden.
They were saging it.
They was doing sage.
Yes.
There was a band of people that gathered at Madison Square Garden via internet, came in with their sage and
Yep.
said, "We are getting these bad spirits from Trump out of the stadium." And they said the vibe had changed because all of the people that had to go through the detectors, go through the long lines to get into the stadium, having
The TSA level security.
yes, and the fencing around the Madison Square Garden.
Not able to have the
changed
watch parties outside.
Yes, they couldn't have the watch parties outside of the Madison Square Garden. They said it changed the mindset of the people in the stadium, and they believe that that was a contribution of the Knicks losing. Well, I am saying, hopefully today,
And
we're praying for a win. We're praying for a win. And Elise, behave yourself. No
Let me
praying
tell you,
today.
after I heard that owner invited him there
Oh, that owner is ridiculous.
to be in his little thing, I was like, Lord, let him lose. Now
The
he has other
streak.
things to do, and he's not going to come today.
The streak. The Knicks were on a long
A winning,
streak
yeah.
until Trump entered that stadium.
Bad juju.
Juju is real. Bad juju is real.
God answers
Guys,
prayers.
but I'm cheering for the Knicks. I will be right here looking at the game, and this is a once in a lifetime for us in New York. I mean, this is like what 53
Yeah.
years,
Who's to
right?
say when this is going to happen again?
Holy moly! And then yesterday, just a side note, a lot of the merchants that would have been there to sell their T-shirts and all that stuff could not do it because of this idiot. There's a reason why no president has gone to a final game, because they respect the fans.
And the cost of putting up all that fence. They had to put
Yes.
that fence around the perimeter. The city had to
Selfish.
put that. They don't. He's not
Security.
going to pay for that. The city had to pay for
Absolutely.
that.
Yep.
Selfish as selfish can be. But he represents. He represents a portion of this country that are just like him. So, anyway, guys, thank you so much. I'm not going to the banners. So again, we have merch in the merch store, so you can go to the merch store, check out all the new stuff. I'll be adding more things to it as well. Today, I'm adding the beard cup as well today. So the beard and Touch Base Daily. So that will be added today, and another T-shirt will be added today. So look into the store. If you see something you like, make it happen. Purchase it. it supports the channel, it supports what we do here. Again, if you're here for the first time, make sure you hit subscribe, make sure you hit notifications. Also, if you're here every week, become a member. Everybody that's here all the time should have greens by their names. Just saying. So anyway, get the green going. And then also remember Friday is Gwendolyn's show, so put that on your calendar. Also, next Monday, we'll have our regular show as we normally do, our regular time together. But at 1 o'clock Eastern time, we are going to have a special guest for the convo, which is the conversation show. So we'll be having a special photographer, young gentleman, Mr. Tay Good. And he is young, just released his first book in photography, and he has traveled, I want to say, I may be wrong, but more than, I think he said 20 countries already.
Right.
He is so wise. He's an amazing person. So he'll be here on next week, next on Monday at 1 o'clock. This
Yes,
is the Baptist
Adrian.
Preachers Level Clothing.
Yes, Adrian. You know your father.
Get off the screen. Get off the screen, sir. We're out. Goodbye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.